Hello and welcome again. We had a little bit of technical difficulty with our Ethernet. We thought that would be a whole lot better than using the Wi-Fi, but tonight we're having some issues, so hopefully the class will go well now. So I'm not sure where the video stopped. I know it froze at one point. Just before we get into tonight's class, let's just pray. I didn't do that at the beginning of the last class. Maybe that's why it froze on me. Dear Lord, we ask you to bless this class tonight, Lord. We endeavor, Lord, to help people, Lord, become more successful with their finances, Lord, so they can have the life that you've always wanted them to have. Bless this class. Let us be glorified to your name. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. A couple people asked me about, my class on how to have, recently about how to go on a free vacation by using some different tools and stuff, how to get some freebies and stuff. And you might be saying, what's he mean go on a vacation? I mean, don't you know we're doing a pandemic? Yeah, I understand that. But if you can plan far enough ahead, if you want to go back onto our YouTube channel, which is New Beginnings Church Punxsutawney, and you can watch, and you'll see all our little playlists you can find right on the mic. There's one that says how to go on a free vacation. If you can plan ahead, right now, if you want to go somewhere, airline tickets are dirt cheap. I tell you about how I use different credit cards to get things. Give you a real quick example. I got a Southwest card a few months ago because I wanted to go to Texas, and said if you spend $1,000 in the first 3 months, they give you 40,000 free air miles, plus the miles you get from the 3,000 spending. And so I spent $1,000 for 3 months. I just basically went online, paid my tithe, and voila, I got to $1,000 in 3 months pretty quickly. And so I got the $40,000 bonus plus the $3,000. I got another about $6,000. So I got $45,000 in airline credits, and I don't use the card anymore. Didn't pay any interest. It was pretty much free money. And so I went on Southwest to. We were going to go to Texas this summer and see some friends and see my adopted. We call it mom, for lack of a better term. Her name's Vera Alcorn. She took me under her wing. She's a wonderful lady. I would love to, when I was at church not New Beginnings, the church there was New Heights Church, where I was the executive pastor and one of the campus pastors. And obviously that trip in June has been put on hold. We got the points so we could pay for half of our, there's 4 of us, so 2 of us would go for free, 2 of us would pay. It'd be great. And then I still have a lot of points on my other credit card to pay for other 2 tickets. Well, because of the pandemic right now, if you can plan ahead, right now is a great time to go online and get a credit card like that, go with the points, and buy tickets. Right now, you can go to Texas round trip for $218, $109 one way, using the Southwest one if you plan at least 2 months in ahead. And my 45,000 points will take care of all 4 of us going to Texas now. So that's pretty neat because they're gonna, when this is over, they're gonna want some travelers. So if you do feel safe and comfortable when the government says things are safe, if you want to plan ahead, this is a great time to do that because tickets are really cheap. On that note, I always wanted to go back to Hawaii. For fun, I just looked at, you can go on Priceline. Tickets are as low as $534 to go to Hawaii. Now that sounds like a lot of money. Last year at this time, the cheapest ticket I could find was around $1,200, $1,300. I just want to go back someday. I went for my 10th anniversary with my wife. And so at $534, that's a pretty tempting offer right now. But my kids would kill me if I went to Hawaii again without them. So I got to wait till they go to college. No, just kidding. Don't tell them that. Just having a little bit of fun. So today we're going to answer some different some questions you might have about money. If you have questions, you can go ahead and submit them. And next month I plan to do a question and answers time. If people have questions, I've had some questions come up the last few. So. In May, last weekend of May, I will be doing, the last Monday in May, I will be doing this. But today I want to talk about how much financial peace do I have about money on a scale to 10? Scale of 1 to 10. Is it 8 or above? How much peace you have? And if it is, why do you feel that way? Is it 4 or below? And question, why do you feel that way? And maybe it's in the mid-range, 5 to 7. And if you're an 8 or above, how confident are you that it will stay there? And do you have any basis for this hope? I hope you do. And if not, you may be fooling yourself and headed for a fall. Right now, a lot of people, I read a thing today that 59% of Americans right before the pandemic felt really good about their finances. Well, 80-some% felt good about it. But 59% of those who felt really good about their finances, the 8 or above, were living paycheck to paycheck. And now with the massive unemployment and things that are going on, they're kind of like, oh, like the sky is falling because they weren't well prepared. They're having a hard fall, and things are happening. And a lot of people are getting very depressed and anxious and fearful. And if you're interested, we're talking about those subjects on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. at New Beginnings Church. We're live on Facebook. We're also on YouTube. We're doing a series called Vitamin C for the Soul to help those people. But the question is, who really is in charge of my finances? During this time, this is a critical question you need to ask yourself. Who is the source of your finances? Is it you? Is it God? Obviously, we're coming from a Christian perspective. I hope God is in charge of your finances and He's involved in the discussion. Problem is, a lot of times, He's involved. We think He's involved, but we don't really involve Him. Key is make sure He is actively involved. He's an active participant. How do you do that? By just simply, God, should I spend money on this? And then give Him a chance to respond. Just so I go, Lord, please help me with this. Amen. Give God a chance to put His 2 cents in. Or is it somebody else? And that's where a lot of people are at. They're realizing that they were never really in charge of their finances, but some other human being, some other entity was in charge of their finances. Could be an employer, could be the government because of the welfare and things that are happening now. And it's a scary place when someone else controls the money that you receive. And so what happens is in this pandemic is making us look at that. And so are we really trusting in God, or are we trusting in someone else? And if someone else is controlling your financial purse strings, maybe this is the time you'd say, hey, this pandemic is going to end. And this gives you a time to think, how can I change my life? What's some steps I can take to change my life? And if you have questions about that, that's really what I'd like to help you next month. Pastor Devin, I have a question. How can I change the way my money's coming into my life? What steps can I do to get more control over what I have? Or say, hey, I'm in this job. I really can't change the job. But what can I do to take control of the money so the money doesn't manage me, but I manage the money? And I have a lot of different thoughts in my head where I can go with that. But you know what? But if my thoughts don't match your thoughts, then I'm just talking and it doesn't do any good for you. So if you have a question and you share it with your friends, just feel free to write on the page, write on the post here. You can call us. My number here at church is 938-814, because some of you do live outside the Punks here, 814-938-3724, and we just want to help you, get control of your finances. We want to help you get control so it doesn't manage you, so you can be successful, so you can have the life that you want to have, and I want to help you with that. So if you have those, please think of those. Now back to God. Are we really trusting in God? What it comes down to? It's easy to trust God in the good times. It's easy. Oh yeah, I can give God. I can be generous. I can do what God says when I'm feeling good. Problem is, we're not feeling so good. What happens? We don't trust God as much, don't we? When we should be trusting Him even more. And we don't always tend to do what God asks us to do when we're in bad times. We think, oh, well, I'm in trouble here. I got to protect myself, and we circle the wagons. The problem is when we circle the wagons, we also leave God. We sometimes, not always, sometimes leave God on the outside of the wagon and not inside with us circling the wagons. Nothing wrong with being prepared. Just make sure that preparedness and that circling includes bringing God along with you. That's very, very helpful. So I want to read a verse to you today. I'm going to read a couple verses today. Ecclesiastes 7:14 says this: in the day of prosperity, be joyful. Now that makes sense. Hey, when you're being prosperous, hey, what a great time to be what? Joyful. Enjoy what's going on. And God wants you to enjoy your life. But then he says, but in the day of adversity, consider. And here's what you got to realize. There are going to be days of adversity. Right now, many of you are going through an adversity right now. And it happens. The whole world is going through something right now. Surely God has appointed the one as well as the other, so that man can find out nothing that will come after him. But God is saying He is going to be the good times, there's going to be the bad times. And you got to realize that happens because, people, and why are there good and bad times? Because God wants good and bad times? No, because people make dumb decisions. And sometimes the bad times are nothing to do with you whatsoever. I mean, you didn't start this global pandemic. Okay? It happened. It started I guess in Wuhan, China, in a lab, and got out, and all this stuff going on. You didn't create this pandemic. Now, other people are maybe creating things that are causing you issues. Maybe government officials are making you not do things, or not be able to work, or this and that. But you didn't create that. And God didn't create that. But God says, if you trust me, I will help you get through that. And we need to, and we got to realize that adversity comes and that will make changes. But if we do what God asks us to do all the time, God says, even through the big and the bad, you'll always be able to make it through with no problems because I love you and I want to bless you. And it's the reason why God has different offerings. And He doesn't have us give offerings because He needs money from us. He wants to show us that even during the good and the bad, you'll be okay. Like the Feast of First Fruits. He wants us to give a first fruits offering once a year to thank Him ahead of time for what He's going to do. And He told the Israelites, whether it rains or not, if you give Him this offering, you will be blessed and you will be taken care of. So what's God saying? He's saying, put your trust in me, and in the good times and the bad times, if you're a Christian, they're going to be worked out because God loves you. He's not going to let you fall down. But the key to that, though, is that, well, I'm a Christian, doesn't. Is your source truly in God? Because as soon as you stop saying, well, God, I don't trust you anymore, then you take away Him being the source and you become the source. And when you become the source, then it's on you to make it happen. And we really got to trust God in that. And remember, when trials come, it is okay to ask for help. The question is, where do you ask for help? When you're unemployed, hey, it's fine to go ask the government for unemployment, use it, but then God says, well, He wants you to go back, and when you get a chance, go back to work and look for a job, because He wants you to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But who do you get your help from? Is it from people or government, or do you get it from the Lord? Because here's the thing, when you let someone else take care of your problems, who doesn't have your best interest in mind, bad things happen. And you got to realize that as good as people are out there, people are looking out for number one. When you just look at this crisis, and you read the different things that are closed and open, you might wonder, why are these things open? Why are these things closed? And money still rules today. And people want to have what they have. They're looking at themselves first and foremost. I want to read you a story from Exodus chapter 47. What has happened here in Exodus 47 is Joseph has now got out of prison. Pharaoh had a dream, and Joseph is preparing the people for this famine that's going to come. 7 years, wonderful plenty. Now the problem is, as you get to chapter 47, the plenty has kind of run out. Not Exodus, I'm sorry. It's Genesis 47. Exodus only has 40 chapters, so boo-boo on Pastor Devin. Genesis 47. Now you might be looking through your Bible looking for Exodus 47, and you're like, I can't find Exodus 47, because there's not an Exodus 47. It's Genesis 47, beginning in verse 13. And what happened is, the people, the famine had come, they were okay for a little while, the Egyptians, and then they came to Joseph and said, we're out of food. We need more food. What does it say here? Now there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very severe. The land of Egypt, the land of Canaan, languished because of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan for the grain which they bought, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. Now when the money failed in the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in your presence? For the money has failed. Sounds similar to maybe what some of us are going through today. And Joseph said, give me your livestock, and I'll give you bread for your livestock if the money is gone. And they brought their livestock, gave it to Joseph, and gave them bread in exchange for their horses, their flocks, their cattle, their herds, their donkeys. And he gave them bread in exchange for all their livestock that year. When the year ended, they came to him the next year and said to him, will we not hide from my Lord that our money is gone, and also our herds and our livestock? And there is nothing left in the sight of our Lord but our bodies and our lands. Why should we die, both we and our land? Buy us for our land and for our bread, and we and all our land will be servants of Pharaoh. Give us seed that we may live and not die, and the land may not be desolate. So Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. For every man Egyptian sold his field because the famine was severe upon them, so the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he moved them into the cities from one end of the border of Egypt to the other end. Skip down to verse 20. Then Joseph said to the people, indeed, I have bought you and your land this day for Pharaoh. Look, here is seed for you, and you shall sow the land. So, up to this point in time, Pharaoh, he was the king of Egypt. He was powerful. But he wasn't supremely powerful until this event happened. Because what did people do? They came to Joseph and said, hey, we need help. And instead of, they run out, they tried everything on their own. They tried their own gods. They tried their own source. They tried for everything. Now there's Joseph, who is still a man of God, trusting in his Lord above everything else. Everything's happened in his life. He's learned to trust in God. He's probably told them, hey, trust in God. But they didn't trust him. They didn't want to come to Joseph's God. And so what? They trusted in Joseph, and Joseph worked for who? The Pharaoh. And they began to sell away what? All their money, all their lands, all their herds, what they sell, and then eventually they said, buy us. What did they give away? They gave away their freedom. And we got to be careful on who we go to help. And why did Pharaoh become supremely powerful? Because he owned it all. He owned it all. And the people gave it to him out of their own free will. Now God's the same way. He wants you to give your life to him out of your own free will. He say, everything you have is God's. The difference is Pharaoh used that to become a power trip and becomes who he was. And the land of Egypt still suffers to this day. The common people in Egypt still suffer mightily to this day. You think there's a big difference between the haves and have-nots in America? Go to a place like Egypt. You see, God, though, he says, I have your best interests in mind. Trust me and come to me to be your help, your source when you're in trouble. Don't panic. Come to me. I have all of it. I made it all. I can help you out. Trust me. And guess what? I actually do have your best interests in mind. Because what's God's main goal? To get everybody to go to heaven. And to get people to go to heaven, he needs to bless people here. So people say, hey, you're blessed. Why? I want to be blessed. He wants to positively bring people to heaven. Not to push them down and say, oh, you're a terrible person. God's vengeful. No, God's not vengeful. God's loving. God wants you to be in heaven. I mean, and one of the ways he does it is showing how we use our money and our goods. What if the Egyptians had turned to the God of Joseph? Man, the story might have been a lot different. What if America turned their source to God again? And this could be a great revival coming out of this. I've seen people come and ask lots of questions. I'm going to show them. Jesus wants to be with them. There's a difference between those who believe in God and those who don't. God's making a difference right now. And so today we have a couple of questions I want to ponder in our time today. And like I said, next month I'd like to take some of your questions and how to help you. Maybe it's related to the pandemic. Maybe it's related to getting ahead in life. Just who's in charge of your money. Hey, you'd much rather be in charge of your own destiny than someone else having charge of that. So today, the first question I have today is this. Is the way I'm spending my money making me happy? Hey, what's the sense of having money if you're not going to be happy? Yeah, there's bills that got to pay and stuff has to be paid. But God wants you to enjoy life. Deep down, many of us spend money on stuff that what? That gives us a sense of happiness, right? We go to the store and we buy, you go to the grocery store, you buy what you need to survive, but then there's some things you just want to have, Have double stuffed Oreos, man, that is great. I'm just moving up here. Oh, okay, just making sure. If you're on there watching, just let me know I'm still online, because I just had a screen pop up. I hope we're still live. So God is doing some awesome things. And we hold some hope of happiness in our life. We want to make sure that we feel happy with the stuff that we buy. Like I said, one of my favorite things is double stuffed Oreos. I go and buy them. I don't have to have them. But think about some of the purchases you've made in your life. And the good question is asked is, are they making you happy? Is what you're buying satisfying you? And for how long? And think about what you got. Is it really, it could be something used for something more satisfying. Deep down we go, okay, because when we're satisfied, we're happy. Deep down, do we really, thank you, somebody popped on there. Praise the Lord. We are still online. That's great. Having some internet issues tonight. But sometimes deep down, if we really get what satisfies us, we'll be happy because, if our needs and we're satisfied, then other things can become like gravy. On that note, I want to give a piece of advice. Many of you are getting the stimulus check that's out there. And it's great that you got that. But please don't think that it's free money. It really is what it is an advance refund on your tax return for next year. It shouldn't affect your tax return for next year, but this is the government we're talking about. Don't know. The stimulus bill is 900 and some pages long. A lot to read in there. But make sure you use that to take care of the needs of your family. Don't go out and spend it frivolously, because you never know what's going to come up. And even if you're working, this is a great time. Remember I tell you about having an emergency fund and having things. If you don't have one, this is a great time to start one. And maybe you're in a situation where you are working, you have your emergency fund. This would be a great time to put some money back for retirement. Because you need to use it on things that support your family. Because if you go out and buy a bunch of stuff, now is it okay to buy something here and there? Yeah, but if you can't afford what you're doing now, don't take this as like free money. Because you know what? Some people are out there saying, hey, I got this money, I don't got to pay rent for the next 3 months. No, it's not that you don't got to pay rent for the next 3 months. It's that they can't evict you for the next 3 months. But once it's over, they can ask for it all back. And God, be wise about this. Don't be use this to survive. And for lack of a better term, hey, if you don't need it, put it away for a rainy day, because there will always be what? A rainy day at some point. And let God use that to bless you for that time period. That's what I give you some advice with that. Because you know what? Is the way I'm spending money make me happy? Because if you go out and spend money on something now, say, I'm going to go buy this $1,000 TV. Yeah, it might make you happy right now. But if you lose your house, you know where to put the TV in, that's a problem. Look at your finances carefully. Be wise with what God has given you. Sometimes, there's this thing called sudden wealth syndrome, where people get wealth suddenly, then they can't handle it, and later on, then they're back worse than they were before. Even though this is not a lot of money, a couple $1,000 is really, if you ever think about the scheme of things, not a whole lot of money. But if we spend it improperly and not use it correctly, it could cause us even more problems in the future rather than being the help that was designed to be. Next question. Which area of my finances do I have trouble surrendering to God? We all have areas of weakness. Everybody does. You do. I do. I'm not exempt. But we have to let God have control of certain parts of our lives. We can't just trust Him with the rest and keep part of it to ourselves. And so what area, that's what people don't get. I want my finances to be blessed, but I give God this part and I keep this part. Well, God wants to bless all of you, not part of you. And He never wants to do part of it, because if He blesses part of you, then He's saying what you're doing on this side is okay. You either got to be all in or all out. And you can hold back God from providing for you. It is scary to trust in someone else. I get that. Like we talked about, who you put your trust in. Especially in God. And one of the reasons is we wonder if He'll do what He says He will do. And even after all He's proved, all the stories in the Bible, Malachi says, try me on these things and see what I will do. See if I will not make your life so much better. But we have this tendency to wonder, is God really there? Even after all the things He's done. I know, I've been there before. I had to get over that. I'm a pastor. Early in my career, I had to, God, are you really going to bless me with this? I'm like, how am I going to get through this? But every time, God got me through it. And the reason we don't is because even the best of us sometimes forget that God is a real person. Yeah, he wants to be with you. He wants to move in your life. He wants to be seen in your life. He wants to do things in your life. He wants to have a relationship with you. And you can prove a relationship. But some people go, well, He's invisible. How are we sure He's there? I bring this up because last week I had a guy who's an atheist say, and laughed at me and says, you trust in some invisible God. You're terrible. And he began mocking me with some choice language. And you know what? I don't believe in an invisible God. God is real. God can be seen. I showed him in the scriptures how it can be seen. And he tried to twist things. And for me, it was kind of fun because I enjoyed, explaining that, because I hope somebody along the line will see it and say, hey, that makes a lot of sense. But getting back to the story, he's like, if God's invisible, but He has a relationship. He wants to have that relationship. He talks to you. He shows up in your life. He does things for you. And you can see, you can prove relationship. Now, every relationship is going to be different for every person, because everybody treats a relationship differently. But God wants you to have that. And if you're watching today and you don't have a relationship, I hope you get one today. And in a second, I'm going to stop and pray for you before I go on with the class. But back to this internet thing, and this invisible thing. And he's like, you believe in an invisible God? I said, well, I can see Him in my life. I can tell you the stories. I can tell you how He's talked to me. And they go, but He is invisible. You know what a good response to that is? Right now, you're watching me at your home, on your phone, on your computer, typically on a wireless connection. And somehow this is getting from here to you, and there's no wires involved. It's just flying through the air. And you can think that there's trillions of videos going on right now all around the world. Imagine all the stuff that's flying through the air, flying around you, and most probably through you, to get somewhere else. We can't see it, but we know the internet's real, right? Because you have proof of it right here. How does it work? I mean, even the best of it, how does it really work? It boggles the mind. All this stuff is flying through, and then what is it? It is what? Invisible. How it gets from here to there? Right now I'm on Wi-Fi. How it's going from you to there, you can't see it, but we know it's real. And that's what God wants. He wants that relationship where you know it's real. He doesn't want you just to think about it. He wants you to know you're real. So before I go on with the last two questions tonight, I want if you're going to trust God, you better have a reason to trust Him. And here's how you have a reason. When God moves in your life in an amazing way. Let me pray for you tonight. And if you're watching, just say this prayer with me. He will come into your life and He will show Himself. Because He is a real person that wants to have a real relationship with you that can be proved. Dear Jesus, we just thank you right now as we stop our class. There might be someone out there who's hurting. And they say, Jesus, come into my life. Take away my sins. I believe you lived and you died for me. And I believe you want to have a relationship that's real with me. I want to feel that today. Come into my life. I give it to you. In Jesus' name, amen. If you prayed that prayer, I believe 100% that God's going to come into your life. He's going to touch you, and amazing things are going to happen. And He'll show you in such a way that you know if you trust Him, He'll be there for you. Next question is, how is my financial life different than non-Christians? That's a big key. Our financial life needs to be different. We're called to live lives that are set apart from the world. And what's that mean? It means we're supposed to do things? No, we're supposed to live life just like everybody else. But how our life lives and how someone else's life goes should be markedly different. Not because we, quote unquote, do anything different, but our attitude is different. We have a relationship with Jesus. He's the first in life. We trust Him first. And in any good, loving relationship, He wants you to be blessed. And so He makes your life look different than those who don't have Him. Or those who say He have Him but don't really have Him. Those people do. He wants you to see that in your life. And an example is how do we prove that? That's a good question. How do you know, every relationship, you want to prove that you're in love, right? You want proof of that. You know, for me and my wife, we have this wedding ring right here, you know, and happily married to her. No, don't ever want to take this off. One time it fell off and I thought I lost it in the store or something. It ended up being in our couch. I felt horrible because I couldn't find my wedding ring. Because it fell off my finger. I now have spacers on it so it doesn't fall anymore. Because I lost a lot of weight. But you know, it's important to show that. And the question that comes down to are you stressed over money in your life as a Christian? Now, do you know though that whenever you are having money issues, do you know it's going to be all right? I have a question. You've made this far in life. Do you think that you're not going to make it to the end? Do you really think God will not come through again and again? So the question is, how does your financial, is God blessing you? Is He different? And it doesn't mean you'll have more money, because more money sometimes can be a problem. Sometimes people have more money than they can handle, and it causes them big time problems and causes relationship issues and things like that. You know, it's not always about money, but what it's about, you should have more peace and less worry. When something really needs to happen, it will when you're trusting in God. And if you're trusting God, you can let those worries go away. Not that you can't think about them or do something about them, but you do it and say, hey, God, I trust you. You should be able to look at someone else who's struggling and go, hey, yeah, you make more than me, but so why are you struggling? Or you make the same as me. Why are you struggling? You know, God says He wants to help you understand and have the right perspective. And if you do, God says He will show up because He wants you to be blessed to show those beside you who are struggling, hey, you're in the same boat, but guess what? You're better off because God always comes through. And how do you get it? You got to show God first by putting yourself first in what He does. I want to read a verse in Nehemiah chapter 12, and there are 12 chapters in Nehemiah. It's actually 14 this time around. That Exodus one earlier. So sorry about that. So let me get back here to it. There we go. Nehemiah 12:44 says this. And at the same time, some were appointed over the rooms of the storehouse for the offerings, the first fruits, the tithes, to gather them into the fields of the cities, the portions specified by the law for the priests and Levites. For Judah rejoiced over the priests and Levites who ministered. It's an amazing thing you got to understand is Nehemiah came when Jerusalem was in huge depression, huge disaster had happened. The temple was destroyed, the walls were burned down, and he came back to rebuild it all. And when he came back, he said, hey, God wants to trust it. What happened? Israel had gone away from God, gone away from his principles, and they'd gone away from having a relationship with him. And Nehemiah said, hey, you need to bring in your tithes, your first fruits, and your offerings. 3 distinct different things. Now, we talked on before, but there are 3 different things. And he says, you know what? God asks you to give them to him. Why? Not because he needs your money. Because you show God, I trust him. Because you say, I love you so much. You ask for this, I'll give it to you because I love you. And when you do that, you know what happens? God says then he is able to then what? Show his love upon you. He says, you know what? You give to me, I want to give back to you, so you're always taken care of. And God wants that to happen in your life in an amazing way. And yeah, sometimes we go through depressions, like we are right now. This pandemic is a depression. But if we do that and we're doing our part back to God, then it makes God say, you have to do your part and make sure, hey, I'm going through this problem. God, you got to fix it. And God shows up because you know what? He says, hey, yeah, you're trusting me. I need to do my part. Why? Because he loves you and he wants to solidify that trust between you and God so that you know that you can give everything to God and God will give everything to you and you will always be okay. Now, speaking to you just out of experience, I wasn't always like that. I've had a lot of issues in my life as a pastor. I've now learned that everything in mine is God's and God gives me everything here. And I don't have to worry. Now, still sometimes I worry, yeah, and God goes, yeah, we have these conversations. We're humans. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to have doubts. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a question when your faith can go above the doubts. And when you do that to God and you give to him, God says, hey, it's not that he needs anything. He says, it's the proof that you truly love God. And then God has to, what? Prove that he truly loves us on the back end. He loved us first, then we love him, and he continues to love us. And it's a wonderful cycle. You know, we talked about some vicious cycles. This is a wonderful cycle, where the more we love, the more love back, and the more, I don't know about you, who doesn't want more? And God promises that he give you peace and not worry. That brings us to the last question today I want to talk about. You know what? Is it okay to desire to be rich? I want to tell you, that's a question a lot of Christians should ask themselves. Because, I don't know about you, we all want to have more, right? And it's okay to want to have more. It's okay to desire to be rich. The question is, what is rich? If you follow me, rich, my definition of rich is this. You don't have to worry about anything. Doesn't mean you have more money. Doesn't mean you have more stuff. It means everything you need is provided for and then some. Because God wants you to enjoy life. He wants to have, it says in John, have life and have it to the full. Full is a nice word. He wants you to have so much. And in order to do that, we need to he wants us to what? He wants us to strive to be better. He wants us to strive to better ourselves. And he does it, he puts that inside of us. And that's why we work, and that's why we give back to God. Because we do that, we show God. What are we showing God? Hey, we're doing our part. And look, I'm giving back to you because you gave me the ability to do this. I'm now giving back to you to show you the what? To prove to you that I'm thankful for what you've done for me. You might say, but there's some people on this level financially. That's great. Doesn't matter what level you are financially. God says he wants everybody to be blessed. The great thing is, if you prove it to God, he will prove himself back to you. And it's okay to want to be better because God put inside me better, because the more you strive, the more you become like God. God wants more for you. God wants you to get better. And you become like that, you know what? It shows others that there's a purpose to this life. And then God blesses that. He does that in your life. You do not have to, as a Christian, say, well, I'm just going to accept the vow of poverty until I go to heaven. That is so wrong. How do you want people to Jesus like that? Now, I'm not saying you have to accept me. You got to realize if you have the right proper perspective, you will always be rich. It means you'll have peace and your worries will be taken care of if you do what God asks. You know what? Rich and poor is just it's just in man's eyes. And it's according to money. But there's so much more to this life than money. Relationships, family, friends, peace of mind. These are all wisdom, knowledge. These are all wonderful things that money cannot buy. There are things that are priceless in this world. And God wants to bless you with all of those things. You know, and like I said earlier, sometimes having a ton of money is a curse, not a blessing. But God says, because then it's a curse, because then you think, I did this. Instead of, look what God has blessed me with. So when you start getting to that moment, you become like those Egyptians. They end up giving everything away and giving their souls, you know, giving their little bodies to the king. God wants you to live free. He wants you to enjoy life. He wants you to have it to the full. You know what keeping the right thing is. And when you learn that and you learn the other verses, you know what? You become content and satisfied. Remember we talked earlier. I mean, the different questions tonight we've asked. If you get those down right and you're satisfied, then all this other stuff that comes in your life is gravy. You can enjoy things. And God's amazing. Don't fall into this lie that God has promised to take care of me, so I don't have to worry about money. We're doing this because God wants you to use your brain. He says, because the better you handle money, and the better you handle it God's way, the more proof you say to God, I really love you. You're not buying God's love. You're just saying, God, look what you gave me. Look what I'm doing back for you. And God goes, wow, they think that much of me? Look what I'm going to put in their life. And it could be a financial blessing. Could be a family blessing. Could be a relationship blessing. It could be a million different things. It could be just peace of mind and worry-free. And you know what else it could be? It could be all of them rolled into one. God can bless you in infinite ways. He's extremely creative. Just look at the world. Look at all the mountains and the rivers and the lakes and the beauty of the world. I mean, God's a very creative person. And He wants to bless you, and He loves you. And that's what unlocks the amazing of riches in your life that God wants to do. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's class. And like I said, next month, if you have questions about how to get ahead, how to let money, you have questions about how maybe you're in this situation, I'm realizing I need to have a better control of this. I would love to answer those questions next month. So have a great night. Thank you so much. Let me pray for you. Dear Lord, I ask you to pray for all those who watch this class tonight. Lord, I want them to know that I just want them to see successful. I want them to see great things happen in life. And I want them to understand, Lord, when we put our trust in you, no matter what happens, you will protect us. You'll protect our finances, our families, our possessions, all things that we have, Lord, because you want us to be blessed so we can be a blessing to others. Not so much maybe in giving us, but let them see how our life is and how their life can be with Jesus. And most of all, we want to have peace and we want to be worry-free. You know, if we have those two, money really doesn't matter anymore. And God, you want to bring those into our lives. We thank you so much for that today. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Well, have a great night. I love you all so very much. And Jesus loves you too. And lastly, you are awesome. We'll see you next month.